Hello, is it me you're looking for? Oh. Hi, this is the real Ted G. I also have a name that's Ted. Today, I wanted to actually just talk about a quick topic that came up in the office, and it had to do with appraisal shorts. It's coming up more and more with customers, clients as well. They're asking questions. What happens if the property that I'm in contract to buy does not appraise? Well, a buyer has several options depending on how their contract is written up. As long as the contract is written up with the mortgage and appraisal contingency in it, then a buyer would have the option to, 1, negotiate the price. The seller would have the option to negotiate or not negotiate. And if the seller says, no, I want the number that we agreed to at the beginning of the transaction, even though the bank is saying that the house is worth this much. Just because a bank is saying what the house is worth doesn't mean that that's what the market is saying. In this market with the inventory shortage, we are getting higher than asking price values for our homes, and sometimes it may lead to an appraisal short. Now, a buyer can make up the short in most loans. 90% of the loans, they would make up the short dollar for dollar. If my appraisal came in $10,000 shorter, then my buyer would have to come up with the difference. In today's market, most buyers are opting to come up with the difference because they do see the value of obtaining the loan, not obtaining the house for a certain price. But there's a lot of different options. Some people may not be aware. You can argue an appraisal short. And if that's the case, you have to make a case for it. You actually have to take the appraisal, look at the comps that the appraiser used, see if those comps really do compare, as comparables should, to the property, whether it's in square footage, condition of the house, location, of course, and any other factor that can impact. A lot of times we may have a house that maybe doesn't comp because it actually has so many features, so many amazing upgrades. Now, what I've done in the past, and I have argued appraisals, you actually come up with comps. You look for one comp or two that may not suffice in your category of the house, and you try to replace it with a better comp. Now the appraiser gets to look at the comp and say, if I use that comparable home instead of the other one, I can raise the price. So that's one option that a lot of people may not be aware of. As long as the buyer is consenting, you can help them adjust the appraisal by actually arguing for the value of your home or of the subject property. When it comes to my sellers, I actually always opt for that because the higher the house appraisers and the higher the house sells, the better off we are on the next sale, which keeps improving our property values. And if all else fails, take a couple of buttons off and see if the appraiser will adjust the appraisal now. Well, that was me being funny, not accurate. And that's the podcast. That's the real Ted G. Hope to see you on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, maybe even TikTok.